Hey Diary. So the name of this entry is It's Not About Me. These entries are just supposed to be raw approximations, just airing out difficult feelings by speaking them. So it's not about me. Forrest's choice to use heroin, um, his using heroin, what, why he did it, why he liked it, and I'm sure I'm just fixated on his heroin slash fentanyl OD, and I can't see a bigger picture yet. There's different ways to look at it. Like, one way is that there could have been very deep issues and struggles in him that led to this. Another way of thinking of it could be that you could have replaced this with something a lot more harmless. Um, you know, some thrill-seeking activity that got him killed. That, you know, a more normal impulse that just went awry and ended up this way. I think that Forrest had deep struggles to understand himself, life, other people. I'm sure he had some deep sorrows that he didn't even understand. Primordial stuff, right up to having his, some unrequited love from 15 years ago. Who knows? All of those things were present. And at 23, I did things that could have got me killed so many times. Maybe the worst thing was driving drunk. I had this gig for a while, and they loved me. And I would do crazy shit at this gig. I'd put on a record player that I brought and play along to it and make comments. And I couldn't do anything wrong. And they had, really strong beer on tap and tequila and great food. And I drove myself home. I did that a few times, and I realized I'm going to kill somebody. I realized I was going to kill somebody and or myself. And maybe, I can't say I was as much of a drinker, because I'm not even as much of a drinker as many people I know. I'm just saying that for everybody, you have your own, tolerances and ways it plays out in your life. I never like being drunk. I should say that. But I was in my 20s and I was doing these gigs and I drove shit faced a couple of times. And it was because other people, also poured drinks and implored, you have to know yourself. You have to know the truth about things. And as much credit as I give Forrest, at 23 years old, you only know what you know, you know. You haven't screwed up enough. I don't think any of this changes that certain drugs are like just have to be avoided, like crack, cocaine, heroin, opioids, meth, just the ones that we obviously know that you could look on any cop show and it's not about me. And I've been making all of this, about how it's affecting me just because that's what I'm studying. I lost so much intrinsic value, life's intrinsic value in my mind was woven. Forrest was a serious amount of that. And all the mind games that, people can play about how to honor somebody's memory, or I mean, I guess that's all we can do. And I've been resentful of like I feel like if I allow myself to be a happy person, it's like Forrest would never have existed. And by nature, I'm that guy who is, making a joke and welcoming, trying to welcome people. And I've removed that activity artificially in some way because of, I don't know, I just feel like so betrayed, like it's about me and not about whatever my son as an individual, who he was on his own. The loss is so great. That's all. It's just the loss is so great that it's like a disturbance. And I've just been getting into like weird stuff, like series of push-ups in like yoga kind of things and lighting up my chakras. Uh, this Muay Lao fighter expressed to me that in their system they light up their chakras, and that's where it all comes from. So I felt I should make some effort. So in some ways, this video diary is about how um, how the death of one son has affected one father. Oh shit! Because I can't get inside my son's head, and I don't really want to make more out of it than I should either, because that's a vice or just inaccurate. But I've been allowing myself to at least like explore the maze and just see what lurks in my emotions. My wife pointed out that as horrified and ashamed and sad and angry and abandoned that I feel that Forrest's peers regarded him as a very beautiful, important, honest, sincere, loving, peacemaking person. I heard a lot of adjectives, but that gives you the vibe. You know, he was. They all said like, oh, he was the guy who stood up for me, or who told us to get over it. I was like that before he died, too. Like I would have looked at myself, and I'm sure there's people looking at this saying, "Dude, get over it," you know. And the first thing I said to myself is I wouldn't let this destroy me. And I did everything that I could. Those were the two thoughts that I had as the detective was telling me. That was weird. But, you know, maybe I had those thoughts because somehow I know that there's like a chord or a sound going through time. And every relationship in those notes is profound. And one of those strings has been taken out. So I'm just dealing with it. But I know it's not about me.